All right, we're back. Let's talk about this week's matchups. Some big matchups this week. Le Champion, Team Ramrod. That's right, still your champion once again. And I will rub that in every week until I lose that title. He's in a tough matchup this week, though. 12-5-2 in second place, taking on Sorokin These Nuts, who's 11-7-1 in fourth place. Kyle, who do you have and why?
Oh, this is a tough one. Neil made some pickups. Obviously, you're Le Champion for a reason. Um, yeah, I'll go with the Champion, but this is going to be a really tight matchup.
I agree it's going to be a tight matchup. And before I forget about it, just to recap, we both went 4 for 8 last week.
Oh, wow, we're both pretty off.
I forgot to mention it earlier. You got Braden.
Yeah,
No, I got Plums is the one that you didn't get. Like the rest were similar.
a lot
Um,
of upsets last week.
oh, and you picked TVT as well.
Oh, did I? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. I did.
Yeah, but you picked yourself and I picked Corey, so that's where it went different. But I'm also, of course, not going to change what I do every week. I'm gonna pick the Champion, um, because that's my mindset. I think I could beat everyone every week, so I'm never gonna give my opponent the edge. I'm gonna fucking take it to you this week, Neil. I'm gonna show you why you just don't want to make the playoffs anymore. Just give up.
It would
No,
put him in an interesting spot. He'd be only 1 point ahead of that pack.
yeah, I know. Like for him, it's almost. I don't want to say it's a must win because it's not, but it would put him in the danger zone should he lose, which I think he will. But
And he has a tough couple of weeks left because I know he's got Corey in the last week. I'm not too sure who he's playing next week. Let me have a peek here.
he's got Corey in the last week. That's a big matchup.
Oh, and he's got Mark next week, and Mark is obviously hungry to, you
Oh
know,
yeah, to keep winning. Like
yeah. So it's not an easy ride for Neil. Neil should be able to win those last 2 weeks, but it'll be tight. You never know.
got important matchups every week. Because if he loses to me, then he's right in that pack,
Yeah,
right? And then you have Corey and Mark both there. You need to win those last two, or you could fall out.
yeah. Realistically, though, he just needs to win one out of the next 3 weeks to make the playoffs. Like I was saying earlier, I think 24 points is going to be the
It
entry
should
into
be
the
enough.
playoffs. Right? And he's at 23 points right now. So, but he is in danger if he doesn't win.
Well, I want to make it interesting for Neil, and I want to beat him this week. So that way he has, a little challenge, a little obstacle to overcome here.
Absolutely.
But Neil, as a former champion, is a threat every year. So he's one of the few people who has his name on this trophy. He's a tough beat. Here's two guys who never won. And I want to keep it that way. Braden's Biatch, 12-7-0 in third place, taking on the NA goalie Paradise, who's 6-13 in 14th. Who do you got here?
Travis all day long. No question there. Travis should probably clinch a playoff spot after this week. Maybe not clinch, but close to it.
I think the clinching is delayed because of how close that pack is.
Yeah, the pack keeps winning.
Yeah. Like we're 3 weeks out, there's only one team clinched.
Yeah.
It's not usual for us. But I'm gonna agree with you. I think Travis just has a better team than Casey. I trash talk Casey's team all the time, sorry. Um Travis he's in third place. He's performing. His team is there for a reason. So it should be a cakewalk for him this week against Casey. This is an interesting matchup. Holly the goalie, 9-10 in 11th, taking on the fantasy football is over team, 4-13-2 in 15th place. Who do you got, Sean or Derek?
I got Sean. I mean, yeah, Sean's on a playoff spot, but he's not that bad.
Yeah, I lost a lot of respect for Derek's team after failing to get a win against Braden in 2 attempts this year.
That's tough.
Guy has 5 points and 3 of them came against your team. So yeah, I'm going with Sean. I don't like to give Sean my confidence, but
What
I can't
choice do you have?
to go against a guy who just lost to Braden. Like, no, that's okay. Sean, I think you'll take this. Um, I hate to say it, but I think you will. What we got here? Daltrey, 8-11 in 12th place, taking on Wild Husky Hockey, 2-16-1 in 16th place. This is a matchup again that Braden could win. Who do you have
Yeah,
here?
I'm gonna go with Daltrey. I think Daltrey has the better team still, even after selling. But you can't discount Braden. Like maybe Braden surprises us and pulls out another win and is making this race to the Caucasource even that much more interesting. But I do think Daltrey will win this week.
I think Daltrey should win this week. Just because I can't give Braden any confidence. So um, I think Daltrey should win. As long as he sets his lineup, he's gonna win. So I'm gonna go with Daltrey. It's a no-brainer for me, is that you never pick the guy in last place to win.
Nah, that's it.
This is a good matchup right here. This is probably the matchup I'm watching with the most interest this week. Forgot about Dre, 14-3-2 in first place, taking on Svechny Drink, 11-8-0 in fifth place. This is a big test for Dan. Who do you got here?
Being that Nick hasn't lost since week 10, and he lost to me in week 10, by the way, I'm going to pick Nick.
That's what turned him around. It's like, fuck, I'm losing to Kyle. Fuck that. I need to
Yeah,
start
that's
focusing.
right. I set him straight.
This is a big week for Dan. Dan wants to see what it's like to be in the playoffs here with the elite teams. Well, Dre has an elite team. If you can't hang with Dre, then you're not going to win. And this will be a big week. Even if you lose, your team has to make it close at least, where it could have went either way.
Yeah,
Or you're not going to make it far in the playoffs. So I think this is a huge test for Dan, but I'm going to go with Dre. You can't go against his team right now. He's in first place for a reason.
exactly.
Mentally Bedarded, 10-9 in seventh, taking on Team Rocket, 9-8-2 in eighth. I'll ask who you have this week, but I assume you're picking yourself.
Of course, I got myself here. I made some big deals. I've been hot, and hopefully I keep that going. This is a must-win situation for me. I can't afford to lose this one. Otherwise, I'm in a lot of trouble.
Well, there can only be one Kyle in the playoffs. That's got to be a league rule. So I don't know. I don't know. This could go either way. Honestly, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I don't really have a reason. I'm just going to. You're taking the time to sit with me and talk about this every week. I'm going to go with you this week.
All right,
A matchup that
appreciate
could
it.
really be a coin flipped, in my opinion. Like
It could. We both made pickups at the deadline. We're both coming out strong, trying to make that push for the playoffs. It's a big week for sure.
Yeah. Ideally, I bet you guys would both be like, hey, we tied. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to point.
Not a terrible outcome.
Not terrible, right? Again, this is nothing against you, Plums. I think this could be literally be a coin flip. But this is also one of the more interesting matchups of the week. I would say this one and Dre versus Dan for me, and possibly Corey and Mark are the ones that I want to watch closely. Patches 9-8-2 in ninth place, taking on Domo or Captain Crunch, if you want to call him that. 8-11 in 13th place. Who do you have here?
I got Patches. Obviously, he's competing for a playoff spot. Domo's mostly sold. You can't completely discount Domo. He's going to give it his all, and it looks like all points are on the board for this one too. Shutouts, shorthanded, game winners already. So this is going to be an interesting week. But I got Patches.
I can't go against Patches right now. I think he's a playoff team. I think his team is playoff caliber. Domo clearly went in a different direction, but again, still remaining competitive. I think he's too far out to even make it, but he could play spoiler with the team he has and crush some dreams. I know Patches has wanted this trophy for years, but he just can't get it. He just can't get past the first round of the playoffs. And
Yeah,
it would be a struggle for him this week to even to win against Domo and try to solidify a playoff spot, let alone, make a deep run. But his team should be better than it has been.
yeah, agreed. And he's got a tough path to the playoffs. He plays Mark the last week. You know,
I love
Captain
that
McBride.
last week drama. Love it.
Oh yeah, yeah. That could be for the last place. We'll see. We'll see.
It could, right? With how close it is, I think it's going to stay close until the last week, and then some people are going to get their heart broken on the last day of the regular season.
Oh, I think so.
Corey, or Saucier Pass here, Saucier Pass, 11-8 in sixth, taking on the Dumpster Fire, 9-8-2, coming off a big win against Team Ramrod here in 10th place. Who you got?
Yeah, I mean, I'm cheering for Corey, so I'm gonna pick him. I want to create some distance between me and Mark, and Corey's the guy to do it.
I've been trying to create distance between me and Mark for years, but just not working. But no, I'm gonna give it to Corey as well. Corey should be a playoff team. Mark's team is all right. It's not terrible. It's not quite the dumpster fire he might make it seem, but it's not really not a dumpster fire either. So
No, no.
he's good enough to beat Ramrod, though.
Apparently,
That's why I don't want to make the playoffs. I don't want a guy with a tiebreaker over me in. If I can have a guy without tiebreaker over me.
yeah, and that'll be something interesting to go over once we get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Who's got the tiebreaker this week?
While we're talking about the playoffs, I would like to put this out there now, is I would like to do the bracket again this year to see if anyone wants to throw it out there just to see their predictions. I know no one's really been participating in the predictions this year, and that's fine. But I think the playoff bracket is always fun.
Yeah, I agree. I look forward to that. I'm gonna definitely get my bracket in, and I encourage everybody else to do the same.
I would love to get more participation, boys. Anything you want to see on the show, like send us some feedback, do something. Whatever you want to see improved or changed or whatever, we're open to ideas, right? I know the format is pretty much the same every week. We go over last week, we talk about the trades, and then we jump into the this week's standings. If there's anything else that you guys want to see, we would love to make this a better experience for you, a better viewing experience. So
Yeah, but just keep in mind we're still in the PG era here.
PG. We don't do PG. No. But I think it's
Our sponsors wouldn't like it.
it's gonna be a very interesting week. I'm excited to see the results. And yeah, I'm looking forward to beating Neil. You got anything to add before we say our farewell?
There can only be one Kyle.
There could only one, just like the Highlander. There can only be one.
That's it.
It's an old reference. Some of you might not get that because you guys are youngins. But yeah, good luck.
Who is the youngest person?
What's that?
Who is the youngest person?
The youngest?
Yeah.
I don't know how old Braden is, so I don't know exactly. And I don't know how old Casey is, so I don't know. It might be Nick, though.
At 30? Nick would be 30.
Yeah.
Okay, pipe in the chats. Who is younger than 30 here?
Let us know, guys. So we want to know who the young in the league is.
Yeah, we know who the old timer is.
Yeah, it's definitely Domo.
Yeah.
Yeah, after that, it gets close.
Yeah. We don't need to go there, though.
No, we won't go there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. Shut up, guys.
Well, I want to thank you for joining me again this week, buddy.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Always fun talking some hockey and a little bit of trash. Good luck, everyone, this week. But as always, except for you, Neil, go fuck yourself.